Okay guys, our lesson today is going to be on writing linear equations. A learning target for today is learners will be able to write linear equations using the slope and y-intercept. So we're going to do slope-intercept form. You need to find the slope, you need to find the y-intercept, and then we can write our equation from there. Let's go to our first example. First example is just writing that equation given the slope and y-intercept. We're going to use slope-intercept form, which remember is y equals mx plus b format, where slope is the m and y-intercept represents our b. All I'm going to do is plug it in. These are easy because I've just given them to you, so just plug them in. Y equals 2x plus 5. Slope, y-intercept. Plug them in. Here, slope is 5, y-intercept is negative 4, so that's going to be y equals 5x minus 4. Now if you want to write plus negative 4, that's fine. So you could do y equals 5x plus negative 4, and that would be fine also. Okay, so that's how you plug those in. Let's move on to example 2. In example 2, we're going to write an equation using the given points. So we're going to write an equation of the line that goes through those points. These, I've given you the y-intercept in both of these because when x is equal to 0, this number here represents the y-intercept. So all I need to find now is the slope. So the slope is the change in y's over the change in x's. So for the first one, we do 9 minus 5 over 2 minus 0. This is going to tell me how to find the slope. So that's going to be 4 over 2, which reduces to 2. So I have my slope and I have my y-intercept when x is equal to 0. So y equals 2x plus 5. Okay. For b, I'm going to find my slope, so I'm going to do this point first. So I'm going to do 2 minus negative 2 over negative 6 minus 0. That's going to give me a positive 4 over a negative 6, which reduces to negative 2/3. So my equation is going to be y equals negative 2/3 x. My y-intercept was negative 2, so minus 2. Again, if you want to write that as plus negative 2, that is fine. Okay, let's move on to C and D. For C and D, this time I do not give you the y-intercept. So in order to answer these, first you find the slope. And then once you have the slope, then second, find the y-intercept. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so first let's find the slope for C. So I'm going to do 14 minus 5 over 5 minus 2. That's going to give me 9 over 3, which is 3. So that's my slope. So right now I have y equals 3x plus b. I need to figure out what that b is. What I'm going to do is plug in one of my points, and I'm going to use this one because that one seems like it's easier to use. I'm going to substitute in my point and then solve for b. So y is 5, so 5 equals 3 times 2 plus b. 5 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from both sides. You get negative 1 equals b. That's my y-intercept. Now I have my slope of 3. I have my y-intercept of negative 1. So y equals 3x minus 1. Okay. Remember, these points are on that line, so I can plug them in to find out the missing piece that I need, the y-intercept, to figure out what that number would have to be to make my equation true. Okay. In this one, I'm going to do 5 minus 2 over negative 2 minus 4. That's going to give me 3 over negative 6, which is going to reduce to negative 1/2. That's my slope. Now let's find the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to plug in one of the points. I'm going to do this one because they're both positive numbers, which I think will be easier to use. So I'm going to do 2 equals negative 1/2 times 4 plus b. Okay. Now I'm going to solve that, so it's going to be 2 equals, that's negative 2 plus b. Add 2 to both sides, 4 equals b, so there's my y-intercept. So my equation is going to be y equals, my slope was negative 1/2 x, and then that's plus 4. And there you go. Okay, so find the slope first, then find the y-intercept next. Okay, and you got to find the y-intercept by substituting in one of the 2 points for x and y and solve for b. Alright, Now let's move on to our last two examples. Okay. First one, write an equation parallel to the given line through the given point. Now guys, all we care about when we're talking about parallel is the slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay? So all we care about is the slope, and then the other point gives me my y-intercept. So there's my slope, there's my y-intercept. Y equals 4x plus 3. For B, here's my slope, here's my y-intercept. Y equals negative 2x minus 2. Again, plus negative 2 would be fine also. So you just got to use those to find your slope and the y-intercept. Every problem we're doing is finding the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, I'm going to move on to my last example. In my last example, find the equation perpendicular to the given line through the given point. So again, all I care about is the slope, and this time it's going to be the negative reciprocal. That is what my slope is. It's a negative reciprocal. So I look at my slope here, negative x, that represents negative 1x. So the negative reciprocal of that, and then my y-intercept is 3. So that's going to be y equals, the negative reciprocal of negative 1 is positive 1, so it's just going to be x plus 3. Okay, and for B, my slope is 5, so the negative reciprocal of 5 is going to be negative 1/5. So this is going to be, with my y-intercept of negative 6, y equals negative 1/5 x minus 6. That's going to be my equation for that one. Okay, so hopefully that helps on writing linear equations. If you need to watch any of it again, go ahead. Otherwise, have a great night.